Okay, so this video is going to be a sort of a demonstration of something a repair that I have to make. A while back I did a review of these two watches, these Vostok watches. These are dive watches from Russia, and they're pretty nice. This one's the Vostok Komandersky. It's a 200-meter water-resistant watch, and this one is the Vostok Amphibia, which is also a 200-meter water-resistant watch. Now, the problem that I had that's causing me to do this repair is that, and you won't be able to see it because I've been trying to keep on top of it, but these crowns, the watch is stainless steel, except that the crown isn't. The crown is a plated brass, and I've noticed that there's been some corrosion that has been forming, especially after wearing it on sweaty days. You know, where I may be perspiring a little bit. There's been some corrosion that's appeared on the crowns, on both of them. And come to find out that neither of these crowns is made out of stainless steel. And when I started to research it to see if there were other people that have complained about it, I found out that the crowns in some cases have caused a sort of like a chemical reaction, because when two different types of metals come in contact with each other, from what I can tell, from what I can see on YouTube, and what I've read an article about it too, there is some type of reaction that causes a little bit of corrosion. And the corrosion in some cases has actually affected the stem, the screw part where the crown screws onto, and it has caused the watch to lose part of its function, because you can't open it up and set it anymore. It gets stuck. So I don't want that to happen. I like these watches. They're not real expensive, but I do want to see if I can remedy this. So I contacted the company in Russia through the internet, and lo and behold, they do sell stainless steel crowns. I guess this is a problem that was brought to their attention, and they remedied it by producing these stainless steel crowns. Now, both the crowns, even though the movements are the same, the cases are somewhat different, so the crowns are going to be different sizes. So, okay, so I've ordered the parts from Russia, and not too long ago, I'd say less than a month ago, I ordered it, and they're already here. They've already arrived. You can see it comes in just sort of like a bubble wrap package. I blocked out my name and address for security reasons, but you know, comes right from Russia. Comes through customs, and you can see that the watch parts were not very expensive. And as the person I dealt with, in fact, I dealt with this guy, Dmitry Bujalov, online. He's very, very good customer service type. He responds in English. You know, you can converse with him on internet, answer any questions. He'll get right back with you. So we're going to take a look. We're going to open this up and see what we got going on here. Let me see if I can rip this open. I don't think I had a sharp knife anywhere. Let's see. I'll leave this off camera. Here we go. Okay, so let's see what we got. So we got a piece of paper that means nothing to me, just has my name. And we've got okay, it looks like both of them are going to be inside this thing. All right, let me get a knife real quick. Okay, so I didn't have a knife on my desk here, so I had to go get one to open this package, because it looks like they taped it pretty good. So we'll see here. We'll try and open this carefully in case there's any instructions or anything that might be in there. I don't think there are. Probably just be a plastic bag containing the watch stems. All right. More bubble wrap in there. Yes, pretty good in there. Okay. Okay. So we'll put this stuff aside. It'd be funny if it was just a piece of plastic that I had in here. I could actually feel the stems inside there. See if we can just slice through this without having to go through this. There we go. Put this stuff aside. The knife aside. And let's see here. Okay, so this is more bubble wrap. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Okay, now the challenge for me, because neither one of these crowns is like numbered individually. I know that when I bought, oh wait, maybe they are. There is some writing on that paper. 39. Okay. Okay, so that's a 39. And let's see, this is going to be numbered something differently, I'm supposing. And 71, yeah, okay. So that number there, the 71 here and the 39, these correspond to the two case designs of the two watches. I don't remember which one is which. So let's take a look to see if I can tell a noticeable difference. Yep, and one is definitely bigger, which is fine. That'll be the way I determine when I take off the stems, the crowns. I'm going to be able to compare it to the two new parts, make sure that I have an identical product. You'll notice that these crowns, they have a rubber seal inside there. You won't be able to see it. There we go. You might be able to see it. There's a rubber seal in there that sort of guarantees the water resistance to the watch. I'm just checking to make sure they both have those, and they do. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, excuse me, my camera is my phone, and my phone does that every time I get a message. We're going to put these aside. All right, and we're going to start to remove the case back on. We'll start with the yellow one first. Start with the yellow one first. And I got this little contraption that holds the watch pretty steady while I unscrew the case back. Just get it in there. Tighten it up so that it's, let me get this opened up a little bit. I've got my arms like wrapped around the tripod, so I'm kind of in an awkward position here, but just bear with me. I know I seem like I'm clumsy, but I'm actually just trying to not knock the camera down when I do this. Alright, that ought to work. Now, I'm going to take this, now the Vostoks are unique in that this screw down case back is actually two pieces. There's a ring that compresses this back onto the ring, and that's where the seal is. That's what makes these watches famous for being as waterproof as they are. Alright, so we'll just open this up a little bit. And we'll see if we can get this thing off without a problem. Just line up these little recesses. And we'll see if we can turn it. And it is turning already. So we're just going to go slow with that. Okay. Looks like the ring got loose enough. So I'm going to use this little tool here. Put it in one of these recesses. And you can see I'm turning the ring. Turning the ring only. The case back's not moving. And in turn, the case back's not moving, and neither is the seal. So the seal doesn't experience any type of twisting or contortion. You can see that this popped right off. We'll set that down. This thing should pop right off. And it does. We'll set that down. Okay, and you can see the seal's in place. It doesn't get distorted. And nothing seems to happen to it. Now the trick is, I'm going to get my little magnifying glass and see if I can take a look at what that looks like. I have to find this little plunger in there. That would allow me to depress it and remove the crown. And I think I see it. I'm kind of looking for the little plunger. I think I'm going to just take this off camera and just hold it a little closer to my face here for just a second. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can see that would even resemble what I'm looking for. Okay, so what we're going to try to do here now is I'll get a little. I have a pin here where the point has actually been filed off, and I'm going to use this to illustrate. Right down in here, there's a little dot right there. I believe that is the plunger that I need to depress when I unscrew this crown that will allow this crown to come out. Alright, so we're going to give this a try. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of here now. I don't need to have this in here. I'm just going to unscrew this crown off the frame here. Okay. And now I'm going to try to depress that plunger, and at the same time you know what? Hang on one second. Okay, so I think I found a little bit smaller of a tool because that little plunger is really, really tiny in there. It's trying not to get into the shadow, but it's right in that area right there. And it's a very, very small little recess that I have to try to press down while I'm pulling out the crown at the same time. So I'm going to try this right now. I don't know, I hope you can see this. And it did, it worked. It came out, okay. So, as you can see, the crown came out pretty easy once I got that plunger depressed. And see if I could show you a close-up look of what I'm talking about here. Well, there's not a lot of corrosion still visible. I've been wiping it off with, you know, an abrasive pad, a little piece of Teflon pad that I have, so it's been cleaned up pretty good. But nonetheless, the corrosion was going on in here. This thing supposedly is not stainless steel. Doesn't feel like it is. It feels like I don't know, it feels like it's made out of tin or something. But we're going to take a look now and see which one is the one that I'm going to use. Let's see, we'll take the 39 first. See if the 39 is in fact the same size. It looks like it is. Okay, it looks like the 39 is the one that I'm looking for. It is. This has the Vostok insignia on there. I'll just put this one next to it. You can see this one is a little bit shorter. This one will be going on the Amphibia. Just a little bit shorter. Okay, so we're going to take the 39. And the only difference between the two of them is that they're made out of stainless steel, and it's also got the Vostok or Baktok insignia on it. We're going to get this put in. So we'll do the same exact thing. We're going to put the crown partially in there. We're going to take our little tool. We're going to find that little recess, which is right here. We're going to press it down while we're screwing the crown on. Okay, and the crown did screw on, which is a good sign. Now it's screwed on all the way. It unscrewed. Let's pull it and make sure it doesn't come back out. And it didn't. It should be controlling the watch hand now, and it is. So it is working. Alright, so now we're going to just clean up the case back a little bit. Make sure I didn't get any dust in there or any grime that's been sitting in there, because I don't really take these watches apart since I've regulated them in the very beginning when I first got them. I regulated them a little bit because they weren't keeping time as good as I'd like them to have been. They are now. So we'll just wipe these down. Okay, and case back's going to go back on top. Now you can see the case back has a couple of little guides on there. These little things that go inside these indentations. Then we drop this compressor ring back on top. Just kind of like screw it on gently before we give it a tighten. And then we'll check the watch function, wind it up a little bit, make sure it's still ticking. I haven't worn this in a couple of days. I'm going to back that out again because if for some reason I sort of remember it screwing a little bit more freely. It twisted on a little bit more freely for a longer time, so perhaps I've got a thread misaligned. I don't want to start tightening it down while the thread's not on where it's supposed to be. Alright, so looks like it's moving around there free now. Okay, the case back is on. Okay, it's going on there pretty good now. It's going step by step here, real slow. Getting a little bit of resistance right here. Okay. It looks like it's on pretty evenly. Looking for any gaps in there, which would indicate that it's not the same all the way around, but it looks like it is. Okay, now we're going to get the case back opener and we're going to tighten it a little bit. Again, I apologize for seeming spastic here, but I'm trying to work around my tripod. Just turn this a little bit. Okay. Alright, now we're going to just wind this a little bit. And the way you wind these things is just unscrew it off the tighten it up first. And as soon as you unscrew it, now it'll start to engage the gears, and I can feel it. And you can see the watch is beginning to run. Okay. I'm not going to set this because I'm not wearing this watch at this time. And it's wound on there. All right, I'm going to just take it off again and just make sure it's going on and off smoothly. And tighten it. Okay, and that's it. That one's done. Okay, so I've got the old stem, which I'll save just as I'll clean it up and save it as a spare. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing for the amphibia. Okay, so I was off camera for a while because I was having trouble. The crown would not seat all the way, or so it appeared. It would not seat all the way into the watch mechanism. Every time I unscrewed it and put a little pressure on it, it came back out. So what I did was I took the old crown and I put that one in and noticed that it didn't do that. So I'm thinking, well, is there something different about this one and that one? So I put these under some magnification that I have, and I looked at them very, very closely, and there was no difference. The only difference being is that the actual part of the mechanism that you hold is just a little bit wider here than this one is. This is a little smaller than this one, but that shouldn't have made any difference once it was screwed all the way onto the frame. So I just played with it a couple of times, and finally I heard a little click, which means that I must have done it right. I wasn't doing it right the other times. So there we go. So that's it. So I've just cleaned this up a little bit, and I'm going to reinstall the case back onto the Vostok Amphibia, which pretty much goes the same way. Just kind of goes down in there into those little recesses. I'm going to wipe this off a little bit. This thing got a little crud on it. So just put this down and keep it flat so I don't bend it in any way. It might not be crud. It might just be a little bit of there's nothing really coming off there. It's just the maybe just from a little moisture, the metal got a little discolored. Threads seem to be okay. Okay, so we're going to put this on there. Same thing. Take this little tool, very gently get it started, get the threads started so that they're straight. Okay, I can feel that that's moving nice and free now. Hopefully it's threading, and I'm not just wasting my time. Okay, should start to get a little resistance here, which I am. Okay, I'll just make sure everything's straight. I get the case back opener and tighten it a little bit. And put a little more on there, just a little more torque. Because I do occasionally find myself getting these things submerged. Okay. Now you don't have to over tighten them, but you just want to make sure you didn't kind of wimp it, you know. And there we are. It's got a new stainless steel crown. It's got the Vostok insignia on it, just like the Commandersky does. And kind of happy with them. Stainless steel, they should last a while. Thanks for watching. I know this is kind of long, especially when I got tied up in the end part, but maybe it'll help you if you're trying to do yours. You run into any trouble, just calm down, take a deep breath, stay at it. Make sure you got the right parts. Compare the old one to the new one, and you should be good. All right, so the website for that is miranom.com, M-E-R-A-N-O-M, miranom.com. You can buy the watches, you can buy the watch parts, you can buy whatever you'd like. There's other mods you can do too. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.